welcome. Here is another video about SMMware, software for handling sales, project management, operations, and more. Today we'll discuss time, expense, and travel entries in SMMware. Okay, let's begin. Starting here at the home page, we're going to go to Associates and then record my hours and mileage. If our system was set in metric units, this would say record my hours and travel. SMMware offers two different approaches for how you enter time. The first one we'll look at is the punch clock. Here we will select a job, and if that job requires a job code, we'll select one here. We'll go ahead and click on Start. SMMware's punch clock operates in 3-minute intervals. In our experience, clients want their invoices to show even decimal numbers like 0.05, which is 3 minutes. We have yet to encounter anybody who charges their clients in 1-minute intervals. Go ahead and close this and let it run. Back here on the Record My Hours and Mileage page at the top, we have a drop-down of Associates. Since I am a high-level user, I can manage time on behalf of others. If I was a basic level user, I would not have this drop-down. I could only manage my own time. Here at the top, we have a place for creating new entries, followed by a list of existing entries from where we can edit or delete them. They are editable until they appear on an invoice, or if you are using our approval feature, they will also become only viewable at that point. The list of hours will only include open jobs. Once a job has closed and you want to look at those hours, you can go to the History command under Associates My Hours, Expense, Mileage History. The idea for this page is to focus more on the here and now. Let's go ahead and start creating an entry. We'll start by the date that the work was done. We'll select a job. Once again, if a job code is required, we'll select one now. For the start and end time fields, we can type in hints. So I'm going to type 9A, and SMMware will understand that that is 9 a.m. And I'll type in 415P, which SMMware will understand to be 4:15 p.m. We can put in some break hours. We can mark this as being billable or not. For the description, we can choose from a predefined set of terms, which we can customize for each SMMware site. You can still modify the description as you like. SMMware also supports a formula for charging clients or paying workers based on travel distance. If you're paying based on travel time, that's just another time entry. Here we put in the grand total number of miles. In the settings editor, there is a place where you can indicate how many miles should be free, followed by how much to charge per mile after that. If we worked one place in the morning and on another job in the afternoon, we can use this Add New Row button and take care of both at once. We don't have to do them one at a time and then circle back to rinse and repeat. When you're editing an hourly entry, if you're a higher level user, you can override the pay level, and if you have HR privileges, you can override the pay rate. When entries are created late, an email will go out to whoever is designated in the settings editor. Next, we're going to look at expenses. We'll go to Associates and record my expenses. This operates in much the same way as recording your hours. We have our drop-down for higher level users to manage other people besides themselves. We need a date when the expense was incurred, for which job, grand total amount. We can pick the vendor. We can mark whether it was billable or not. We can take a photograph of the receipt and upload that directly associated with the expense. We can put in a description using the preset description options. And lastly, we can indicate whether the employee paid out of pocket, such that they need to be reimbursed, or whether they used a company credit card. We also have the ability to make more than one entry at a time. We have the entry table at the top, followed by the list of existing entries down below. Here's an example of a receipt that was uploaded. From here, we're going to cover a few things that would only concern admins. First, under someone's associate profile, go down to the permissions area and choose to enable the time clock or not. We also have some relevant settings to talk about. We'll go to admin and then settings. Start in section 2. Here are the email addresses of who should be notified when someone creates a late entry, as well as the definition of what constitutes late. When you first get your system, you can choose between having a single total hours field or the combined start and end time fields. Once you have created some entries, that does become locked in. You can indicate whether the break hours field appears, the default start and end times. Sometimes it is convenient to create an entry that is in fact in the future, and SMMware will only allow higher level users to do that, but we do let you modify from the default to let lower level people do that if you like, but it defaults to admins. We also allow admins to create duplicate entry hours if that is somehow needed, but that would be very unusual. And you can set exactly which permission level is required to do that as you like. We can default the expenses to be either company or reimbursable, or we can hide that choice. When you create an expense, SMMware will mark it up by the default amount, but when you are editing that expense, you can put in a new amount regardless of percentage. You can also set a default vendor. We can show the presets for hours or expenses and define what those presets are. Next, we're going to jump over to section 7. At the top we have our pay levels, but below that we have our definitions for the mileage pay and charges. Here's what you will be paying your associate with setting the included miles and the pay per mile after that. And also the client charges, how many miles are included and at what rate, and whether they're going to be charged for that or not. The last thing we're going to do before we go is stop our punch clock to finish that entry. And that concludes our introduction to hours, expense, and mileage entries in SMMware. To find out more, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SMMware, or you can visit our website at www.smmmware.com. We appreciate your time and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.